It's maybe the oldest game I've ever talked about for Game Talk. It came out in 1983. It used
Wow.
Western animation. It's an arcade game by the name of Dragon's Lair.
Ooh.
Hey, Don Bluth. Nice.
Yep, Don Bluth animation. I've glossed at this game. In fact, I owned it on the Wii at one point, but they ported it to modern consoles, Xbox, and I think PS4. And I have it on Xbox through the Dragon Slayer trilogy, which has Dragon Slayer, Dragon Slayer 2, and Space Ace.
Thank you.
Right. And the way that this game works is Spencer's least favorite style. It's basically the progenitor of the QTE, and that is the foundation for the game. It's actually really quick. It's like a 15-minute game, but it's really challenging. There's 5 inputs, so it's up, down, left, right, and then action button, which is usually your sword. You play as Dirk, and you go into a castle to go rescue the princess Daphne. And there's a number of randomly assimilated scenes, and each scene requires a couple inputs for you to find the door to get to the next part of the castle. A couple times they repeat scenes and then even flip them, mirror them, so it's like really interesting playing through. It's really the input time for the commands is really quick, like so quick. Like I have it on easy mode, and you would have to do this thing within half a second of the left arrow icon coming on screen. It can range from things like your classic kind of fantasy, like traps in a castle, like potions that are suddenly exploding. It's got this kind of like really fast paced cartoon style to it. Bridges collapsing, bats coming out of corners, ghosts popping out, an electric floor with a robot that's like basically telling you where to step. The way that the game works on the modern platforms is you can have a cursor that shows up and tells you which input to use. However, the original way the arcade game worked was you would have to use context clues. So you would see like the water coming from the right, and then you'd have to know you press left to go like at that time, but there's no indicator saying to do it. So this was a real quarter muncher. A lot of people will play to see the next scene in the game or to try and rescue the princess at the end of the game, which is really worth it. There's a funny kind of like perverse element to it. They're like, she's like, ooh, save me, and I don't know. It's like kind of a reward for the players at the end of the game. But it's so fun. It's so engaging. It's like if 15 minutes of just you want to see what's happening next. You can see you're getting close to the end. It is challenging, and it really feels like you're playing a movie. It's really held up fantastically after all this time. There are modern arcade cabinets that you can get that have Dragon Slayer on them, and I think that would be a real treasure to have in the collection. And the anniversary is coming up June 19th, so that'll be 40 years of Dragon Slayer.
Damn. 40 years. Good choice, man. Good choice. Don Bluth, classic. I mean, as me, I love animation, so like Don Bluth is like a big name, and I think this is like an often forgotten series of games.
I was reading that it used like laser disc technology and that it would ship with laser disc systems, but they failed oftentimes. That's pretty cool. A laser disc based game.
Have you ever seen a laser disc before?
Only Mark with a laser
Oh, okay.
disc.
So you know what they look like huge ones. They were like cool for the time, also impractical because like you're watching fucking Star Wars and you had to go and like flip the disc to like finish Star Wars.
Yeah, I always saw this game and thought it was like I thought sinisterly about it because I think the animation's very slick and I like that. But because it was in an arcade, it seemed like it was just designed to fuck people over for their quarters. Which I guess they all were in their own ways.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just depends how you look at it. Because on the other hand, it's like that much engagement packed into just seconds of gameplay. It is really cruel, like how difficult it is. Like you really like. I don't think it's user friendly. I think for kids, like that would suck, right? Like you keep putting quarters in, you keep replaying the same scene, and nothing happens. But I mean, realistically, I think you start with 3 lives and you only put the quarter in for the continue. And I mean, by the end, I use the cursor handicap, but I'd use 5 continues by the end. So is it going to be more than like $1.25 in an arcade? I don't know.
I think what's important is that like at the time, you look at the other games available. What year was it out? What
E3.
83. So you look at
Yeah,
the
that's
other games
super early.
available, and yeah, so you're playing like Pac-Man and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and then you look over at this other game that's like telling a narrative, and
It's like that would stand out. I mean, it still stands
Yeah.
out if you go to an arcade today and it's there. It still stands out somewhat, but not as much as I can imagine '83 standing out. You're by all these space games, and then you see like Dragon's Lair there.
The trilogy is really cool because it packs in a lot of developer videos and stuff for each game that you can watch. You can watch a whole playthrough of the game. Sometimes that's my thing is I'm so busy looking for the directional inputs that I'm not really like watching the action on screen.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's a downside of like how it plays. But I mean, if you want to, you can enjoy it that way. There is a cartoon series that released alongside it as well. Space Ace is really freaking good too.
Yeah, Space Ace is cool. I mean, I don't have much to say about like the games themselves, but like I love Don Bluth, so.
Oh yeah, that's the thing that is cool about it is every death is like individualized. So like they made animations for every possible death that you would have. Like Dirk drowning, or Dirk drinking the potion, or Dirk getting his face ripped up by like bats or whatever. And just that level of programming is so impressive.
I believe they have this game. You can even play this on a DVD with the DVD remote. They have a version on DVD where you can play it with using your remote control.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, I thought Brian was going to talk about playing the NES game or something.
Well, no, a lot of people don't know this, but Brian is actually the inspiration for Dirk because of his tales from back in the day.
Yeah.
Who cosplay Dirk?
Princesses he rescued.
Dirk the Daring. Is that his name? Dirk the Daring, is that his name?
You would know.
Yes,
you would know.
Because it is you.
Is that his name, Dirk the Daring?
Daphne is Princess Daphne.
Is Brian like a big facade? It's really Dirk.
You got me.
Middle name.
It's on the quest for Daphne.
Yeah.
He's in witness protection, and we just blew his cover.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Did they have any? I'll ask you a question about the game if you don't mind, Teddy. So do they have, like you said, there's a split-second response to respond? Do they, like a lot of these games like that, like there's like one for the Sega CD, like Time Gal or something. They have arrows on which way you're supposed to push. Did they add that so as a feature to make it more accessible and easily more beatable? Like
yeah, and that's what I used.
Mm-hmm.
Use the handicap, the cursor.
Handicap, it's called. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what it's called. It is a cursor that is on screen. It's like a transparent wheel, and then when you need to push the input, the icon will come on screen: left, up, down, right, sword, and it's sword and it's right in the middle. So it's not invasive.
Okay.
But it is something that's like in the foreground that you are seeing at all times.
Okay. And I think they had a 3D. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead, Brian.
Did they have? I think they also made.
Did you?
Gotcha. I should have known.
Go ahead, Brian.
See, he's not going to be fooled twice.
Did you get flashbacks to Shenmue playing this?
Not heavily. I mean, I just
saw
in
Shenmue, right?
Yeah, QTEs and all that, but I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't striking. I didn't think like, oh yeah, the fight scene in Shenmue where with the gang and they take the little kid. I didn't make that connection.
I was thinking like the bikers at the dock.
It's a good moment.
Get some those like quick time event things. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, I think they also had a 3D platformer based on this too, where you actually controlled them in 3D space. I don't know if any of you have played that.
The newer
on
ones, right?
GameCube and Xbox, maybe PS2 as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was came out around that generation. I've never played it. I don't know if any of you have played that and can see if there's any difference.
It seems like it takes the whole point away from the game, though. You're
Yeah, I was just curious
just
about
like
that.
a generic 3D platformer or something.
Yeah, sounds
Yeah,
terrible.
like your sword and stuff, but still looks cartoony from what I saw. So
Still a cartoon game if any of you want to play it.
Hey y'all, don't forget to subscribe to them button mappers.